Hello and welcome. My name is Robin and you're watching a Robin Reads, where I read a lot of different books that you probably have never heard of. So today is going to be my February wrap up. So as you saw in my a video that I did before, I had a reading crisis at the end of February. But I actually read quite a couple of books. I actually read 11 books. So yeah, that's actually a lot. And I'm pretty excited about it. And I also read a couple of very good books. So let's talk about them. So the first book I did a whole video about. Need to grab it. So I won't be going into depth here. But basically I read the whole... no, not the whole, but the first and third book in the Don Tillman series. I actually didn't have the second one. But you can watch my review of this one in my challenge video that I did. So next. Next book I read was Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is the third and final book in the Farseer trilogy. Not in the series, because that series is very long, but yeah. I read this as an e-book, and I also listened to the audiobook at the same time, and I read this for my January TBR game. So basically this book, I'm not going to say a lot about it. Basically, Fitz is going on a quest, as the title says. And that's basically what I'm going to tell, because it's the third book in a series. And yeah, it's fantasy, slow-paced, and very intriguing. I basically liked everything about this. The first beginning was a little bit slow, but yeah, that was more me. Again, reading crisis. But yeah, that was more me than the book. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and the ending was also just mind-blowing. It was very good. Yeah, I gave this one 5 stars, and I highly recommend it if you like high fantasy, or maybe if you want to get into fantasy. I think this one the first book is very, more light on the fantasy, so you might start with that one. Next book I read was Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I read the audiobook, the Dutch one, and this one I read for the Buzz Wordathon. I didn't finish it in a week, I think, but still that month, so I'm just counting it. Basically, this book is about Alex, and Alex is the son of the President of the United States. His mother is the President, and it's also about Prince Henry from England. And yeah, they need to form a fake friendship after this royal scandal that happened. This is a romance, it's pretty fast-paced, and I think it was just very cute. What I really liked about this book was the relationships. Yeah, just all the relationships basically. So the parental relationships, friendships, but also about, just between Henry and Alex. I actually really enjoyed the beginning of it as well. First I was like, but I understood why things happened. I think it was a little bit too much sex for me, but as you know, I don't really like that, so yeah. So therefore I gave it 4 stars, and I think if you want pretty light-hearted male romance, I think you would like this one. Then the next book I read was The Female of the Species by Minnie McGinnis. I read this as an audiobook. It was on my February TBR game, and I read this for an event that I'm doing, which is called Reader Recommends. One of the book club members recommends books, and this was one of them. This one is about another Alex. This one is a girl, and she is very traumatized because what happened to her sister, and she is basically trying to navigate high school. This is a YA thriller. It's medium paced and it's pretty dark, especially at the end. But yeah, I really liked the story, and especially the characters were very nice. Very different from YA, I think. Normal YA. I didn't super like the ending. Yeah, if you read it, I didn't really like it. It was, yeah, not good. And I wanted it to be more thrilling, because it is a thriller, so yeah, I wanted more thrilling aspects. Therefore I gave it 4 stars. I highly recommend this if you are starting out with mysteries and if you want to read about different YA characters, but because I think these characters were really different than the usual YA. Next book I finished was The Rosy Result. This is the 3rd book in this series, so quickly going over that one into the next book. That one is called Confetti Regen, which, if you translate it, is like confetti rain. It's by Splinter. I had the library book, but I also listened to the audiobook, and this one was on my February TBR game. This book is about Splinter, the author, who is talking about his struggles being a gay man and basically growing up with those struggles. This is a non-fiction. It's pretty fast-paced, I think, and educational and emotional as well. I really liked a lot about the story. I really saw myself a lot in Splinter, therefore it was also a bit hard to read sometimes. That's why it was pretty emotional for me. But yeah, I really liked his honesty in this book. The only thing that sort of lacked was the writing. I think that was a little bit, yeah, simplistic. But yeah, just a very good book, I think. I gave it 4 stars and I highly recommend if you're Dutch, because this one hasn't been translated yet, who knows. If you want to learn more about, yeah, being a gay man growing up in the Netherlands. It's a very recent book as well. So, next book I read was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This one I had from the library and I did a buddy read for it. This book is about Kaya, and she is growing up in the wilderness, in the swamps, and she is alone and dealing with prejudice from the people in the town. This is a fiction book, not a thriller. It's a fiction book. It's very slow paced, I think, and atmospheric. What I really liked about this book was the writing. I really enjoyed that one. As I said, atmospheric, sorry. And I really enjoyed the characters. Kaya, not too much, but the rest of them I really liked. What I really didn't like about this book was, yeah, the courtroom stuff was like the half of the book. I didn't really like that. And the ending was just, maybe skip ahead a little bit. I won't spoiler anything, but I'm just gonna say something, yeah, in general, but maybe skip ahead a bit. But I really want it to be or just not, or way more thrilling. Yeah, if you read the book, you might know. But yeah, I gave this one 3.5 stars. I think you would like this if you like nature writing and if you want to know more about like prejudice in the United States. Yeah, next book I read was When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This one I listened to on audiobook. This one was for the Literally Dead book club hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. And I read this one for my February TBR game as well. So this book is about a woman dealing with racism and gentrification in her neighborhood. And she's falling in love with a white guy. Yeah, it's sort of a mystery. I think it was slow paced. And yeah, just mysterious. I did like the characters in this one. I really enjoyed them. And just the conversation about gentrification and racism. What I didn't really like was the thriller aspect. I think basically with these kind of books, I had one previously as well. Just take a genre and yeah, just take a genre, choose and write about that. So, or this could be a very good fictional book, just a very good political kind of book on racism, gentrification. I think that was, yeah, just the first half of the book was about that. I think the author could have just talked about that more, or because the second half was more thrilling, or make it thrilling throughout the book, so very more suspenseful. Just yeah, it was a little bit here and there, just very tiny bits of thrilling parts, and then the ending was like an explosion of thriller, which yeah, just felt very weird to me. So yeah, therefore I gave this one 3 stars. I really hope that the author will write more thrillers, but yeah, just more thrilling. And yeah, I recommend this if you like these kind of thrillers, and if you want to read a diverse thriller, because that was this one. Next book I read, this is when I had my reading crisis and didn't know what to read. So I just picked up some, yeah, just very, just very small books. Just audiobooks that I could finish in a couple of hours. So the first one that I read for that was Artificial Condition. This is the second book in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. As you know, I really enjoyed the first book, so I thought, why not pick up the second book? Hopefully I can get out of my reading crisis. That didn't happen. I listened to this one on audiobook. This book is about Murderbot, and he's helping some people, and whilst finding out about their past. Sorry, it's a their. This is science fiction. It's medium paced, I think, not as fast paced as the first book, and it's very intriguing. I really like the story and also the characters from this one. I think it could have been more adventurous like the first one. And yeah, I gave this 4 stars, and I recommend this for science fiction lovers. And just if you like the first book, I think this one is also good. The next book I read was Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs? Big Questions from Tiny Mortals About Death, by Caitlin Dowdy. I listened to the audiobook from this one, which was narrated by the author, which was a lot of fun. This is basically a book with questions about death. For example, will my cat eat my eyeballs when I die? Yeah, so this is a non-fiction. It's fast-paced and just very, very interesting. It was also a little bit weird, but also very interesting. I basically liked everything about this book. I think, yeah, the questions were very cool and just interesting, and yeah, I just really liked it. It was maybe a little bit explicit for children, I don't know, but yeah, I gave this one 5 stars. It was just very great, and I highly recommend it for everyone, because I think we have this very weird feeling about death, so I think it would be cool if everyone read this book. Next book is a Dutch book that I read, which is called Heb je nou al een vriend? aka Do You Have a Boyfriend Already? It's by Marilotte Hagen and Nidia van Voorthuizen. I listened to the audiobook narrated by both of the authors, which was very great. This was a book about feminism and basically how to react to stupid questions that people ask. Like, do you have a boyfriend already? I basically liked everything about this book, like all the questions that were asked, and yeah, just everything that the authors told about their experience with feminism. I really, really enjoyed. But what I also really enjoyed was that they had voices from other people. So for example, a Muslima who is a feminist, someone who is non-binary, like a black woman, yeah, just people like that. They could also tell their story, and I really, really enjoyed it. And also just they also talked about questions that they had from people. For example, like, how can you be a feminist when you are a Muslim, you know? And they answered that question. And also they answer the question in just talking about their experience, but after that they do it in a very like funny way. Like, do you have a boyfriend already? Who cares? Stuff like that. Or Why a boyfriend? I like girls. Something like that. So yeah, that was just very nice. And yeah, I gave this book 5 stars. It was great, and I highly recommend it for like everyone, because I think it's important that we learn about different experiences. But it's only in Dutch. I hope that it will be translated, but it's only in Dutch now. So if you're Dutch, please read it. And yeah, those were all the books that I read in February. I had a pretty good reading month, except for the reading crisis. But yeah, I think it went pretty well. Let me know down below what you read this month. I am very curious to see. Did you find some favorites? Yeah, just talk to me in the comments. Yeah, I really hope you liked this video, so please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and I will see you later.